What's up guys, welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today we're going to be looking at some new previews for the upcoming Avengers War of the Realms set coming out pretty soon, near the beginning of February. So it looks like some stuff has been leaked. We've seen some stuff show up on HC Realms. Lots of people posting dials on there, so big thanks to everybody doing that and coding all the dials and everything. And they also have all the dials from the Scott Porter unboxings. If you guys haven't seen those videos, I highly recommend watching those as well. But I'm going to just skip everything that was from those unboxing videos, assuming you've already seen that, and we'll just get right into the new stuff. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so the first new figure that we haven't seen before is number 39, Captain Marvel. I believe that means she's going to be a rare. She's got the Avengers and the new Guardians team abilities. Range of 6, 100 or 50 points, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kree, and Soldier keywords. For 100 points, 11 movement, running shot, and flight, 12 attack, penetrating blast for 4 damage with prob, and 18 invulnerability to keep her defended. Not bad. 50 points, 10 movement charge, 11 attack, quake, 3 damage with close combat expert, means she could still hit 12 for 4 up close, and again 18 invulnerability. I don't really love the 50 point line because it's only 3 clicks of health, and one good, 3 damage penetrating blast is going to just insta-killer. But 50 points, I don't know. I feel like 50 points should get you a little bit more than that nowadays. Back in the day, that would still be a perfectly fine dial for 50 points. And as far as 100 points go, it's nothing amazing either. It's definitely not horrible, but I've definitely seen better as well. So, especially from past Captain Marvels, I mean, the 95.1 from Captain America and the Avengers is pretty ridiculous. But this one has the Recruiter trait, so that's kind of what stands out about her. So power, choose a character with a Kree keyword in your KO area that hasn't been chosen for or generated by a Recruiter effect. If you do, generate a character with the Kree keyword from your sideline that has a lower point value than the chosen character. This game, the generated character can't be replaced, and your opponent scores them immediately instead of when they're KO'd. So we got a new Recruiter for Kree characters, which is pretty cool, because we just got a bunch of Kree characters in Empire. So there's could be some pretty cool things to do with that. Personally, I don't love it, but, it's whatever. It's fine. Next up, number 40, Wasp. She's got Avengers team ability, 6 range, double target, only 60 points, Avengers, Scientist, and Spy keywords. Starts with running shot with flight, 11 attack, energy explosion, 18 super senses, and 3 damage with leadership. Nothing too crazy there. Pretty average Wasp kind of powers. She's got the Recruiter power, but for Avengers keyworded characters, which is great. Interesting thing about that is there's also, I think, an uncommon Captain America that is also a Recruiter for Avengers. So the fact that we now have 2 different Recruiters for Avengers teams, I think is pretty interesting. I mean, Avengers is obviously one of the better keywords in the game, so I think that could lead to some interesting things happening. I don't know. We'll just really have to see how the Recruiter mechanic plays out now that there's so many more of them coming in this set. But I do love her Pim Particles trait that gives her free. Choose one, tiny size, regular size, or giant size. Wasp has the chosen symbol until you choose again, protected pulse wave. And I honestly love that it's until you choose again. So if you want to choose giant size, she gets pretty much the improved targeting in a sense. She can see over things to shoot over people, and she gets that awesome 3 to 6 willpower to keep going every turn. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Or you could just pick tiny size, you could carry her around to leadership off of somebody, and you could, just have her get that extra +1 against range attacks for the defense, which is pretty good too. So I love that option to switch between sizes. It's really cool. Up next is number 43B, Prime Wrecker. So that assumes that we're going to get a regular version of Wrecker, but we haven't seen that one yet. He's got the Masters of Evil team ability. He comes in at 75 points. He's got Frightful 4, Masters of Evil, and Wrecking Crew, and Brute keywords. Starts with just some sidestep, 11 attack, 18 defense with invul, and 3 damage with leadership. Mid-dial there, he gets a bump up to 12 attack, 4 damage. Ooh, and that last click, Flurry, 12 attack, 4 damage with close combat expert, 13 for 5 with Flurry is pretty crazy on that last click. He's got improved movement, destroys blocking. That last click there is a stop click with impervious and regeneration, so you're definitely going to land on that nice flurry close combat expert goodness there. But then he also has a trait that says the bystanders on this card are Wrecking Crew. Free, generate a Wrecking Crew bystander that hasn't already been generated this game. And then once per turn per character, whenever Wrecker or a Wrecking Crew bystander destroys a wall or square of blocking terrain closer to an opposing starting area than your own starting area, gain 1 mission point. So we got another prime that does mission points, which is pretty interesting. And pretty much all of the Wrecking Crew bystanders have improved movement, destroys blocking, so considering it's free to generate them, you know, you could just move him up, you know, carry him up, more like carry him into position, take a free action to drop one of them, make them move through a square of blocking, blow it up, get a mission point, and he could also sidestep through another square or wall or something and get another mission point. So you get a couple quick mission points pretty easy there. So overall, I like him a lot. I think for 75 points, he's a pretty awesome close attacker. I mean, he's got a whopping 7 clicks of life with a stop click, and I think that's pretty great for 75 points. Just, you know, honestly, just a good close attacker. And like I said, the free generate a bystander is always amazing because you can carry him, you can just free generate the bystander. And I mean, they don't just have to move to get you a mission point. They could like charge through a wall, hit somebody, and get you a mission point. So there could be some really cool things there with Prime Wrecker. I'm actually like really looking forward to him. But next up is number 45, Thor. 75 points, Avengers team ability. This is the third shifting focus Thor. We saw the first two in the Scott Porter unboxings. So he's got the Asgardian, Avengers deity, and warrior keywords. He starts off with 10 movement, sidestep, 10 attack, 17 invuln, and 3 damage, so nothing too crazy there. But he's got this really awesome special attack power that says power, improve targeting characters and destroys blocking, make a close attack regardless of adjacency, targeting all opposing characters within 6 squares along a single direct line of fire. Each hit character is dealt Thor's printed damage value instead of normal damage, and after resolutions, destroy any walls or squares of blocking terrain along the direct line of fire. So of course that's pretty great representation of him just throwing his hammer through a wall or something and hitting somebody. And you know, late dial, when he gets up to that 12 attack 4 damage, that could be pretty deadly. I just kind of wish it was like a close action instead of a power action, so it could combo with the charge later. That would be pretty epic. But it's weird to me, all these shifting focus Thors, they seem to be like really good only at one specific part of the dial. Like this is the Thor you want to go to when he's like about to die. The other ones, you know, I think the common one's the one you kind of want to start with. And then the other rare one is actually pretty good in the middle of his dial, and this one's just better at the end. So I guess if you shift to them at the right time, they'll have just really good stats. But it makes both of the rare ones be pretty disappointing as starting options, considering they both only have like a 10 attack. And the common and the other rare shifting focus Thors, they don't really have much going on. Like this one at least has a really cool special attack power. The other two have pretty basic dials. Like one's a good range attacker, one's a good close attacker. But otherwise, I don't know. I usually love shifting focus characters. I gotta admit, now that we've seen at least 3 Thors, maybe there's a super rare, I don't know. But I'm a little disappointed. I mean, they look fun, but you know, when we just got like the shifting focus Black Widow and the shifting focus Iron Man that were so amazing, I was just expecting a little bit more from Thor, I guess, but he still looks fun at least. All the shifting focus are always usually pretty fun, so there's that. And the last rare we have a look at here is Gamora, and she's number 47A, so looks like we're going to get another Prime Gamora in this set, which is pretty interesting. She's got the Guardians team ability, 6 range, she's 80 points, has Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity Watch, Assassin, Cosmic, and Warrior keywords. Starts with some charge, blades, toughness, and close combat expert. I don't really know why you would want to roll for blades when you're already going to close combat expert for 4 damage. Personally, I wouldn't risk the blades. Now, late dial, when she has exploit, I'd go ahead and risk the blades because it's going to be penetrating if you roll, you know, 2 or 6 or whatever. So it's going to be pretty much more worth it there. But the cool thing about this is she's an ally. So we haven't really seen a lot of captains, sidekicks, or allies in this set. I think there was one in Empire, but I'd like to see more, obviously. But she's really cool. She's got improved targeting, elevated characters, and adjacent, which is a really good targeting. to have. And then she's got sideline active, unique modifier, friendly captains and sidekicks modify attack +1 when attacking one or more equipped characters. So now we've seen these unique modifiers that are sideline active for the allies to give stat bonuses for the friendly captains and sidekicks. That's pretty much the norm for that. But what's cool about this is that it gives you +1 against equipped characters. And I mean, you're pretty much always going to see at least one equipped character in a game nowadays. So that's pretty useful. You know, all the other ones were keyword specific, so you know, hit or miss, you may or may not fight anybody with any of those random keywords. But I feel like this is a little more normal to see somebody that's equipped, even if there's only one character. At least you have that. But then she has this awesome other trait that gives her traded super senses, and once per turn, when Gamora hits with a close attack after resolutions, she may make a range attack. And that's where that improved targeting elevated characters and adjacent really kicks in, because not only could you charge and punch somebody with a 12 attack 4 damage, but then you could shoot with an 11 for 3, either at the same person or somebody behind them, somebody, you know, on top of a mountain somewhere because of the elevated targeting. I actually really like this Gamora. I think this is one of the more interesting things we've seen so far. And honestly, having the traded super senses does help the fact that she only has a 17 toughness to start with. That's a pretty basic defense to start with. At least it gets better from there. But up next, we got to look at some super rares. Starting us off, number 50, Doctor Strange. He's got the Defenders and Mystics team abilities, 8 range, coming in at 50 points. Has Avengers, Defenders, Illuminati, and Mystical keywords. He only starts with Phase Teleport, 11 attack energy explosion, 18 energy shield, and a 3 damage with probability control. Now the cool thing about that is that's actually pretty reminiscent of like your old school Doctor Strange dials. I feel like I would always see him with phasing, energy shield, energy explosion, and prob. Those were like some of the main things he would always start out with back in the day. At least from the dials that I remember. Maybe not all at the same time, but usually those powers. He does have improved targeting hindering, which is pretty nice when he's making those range attacks. And he has Recruiter, but this one is for the Mystical keyword, which I think is actually pretty amazing, because that's a generic keyword. So all the ones we've seen up to this point, you know, have been Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., Wakanda, Asgardian, you know, very named specific keywords. So Mystical gives you just a ton more options that it's so generic, and such a good generic keyword at that. I think the only thing maybe better than Mystical, in my opinion, would be Monster. Cosmic is up there too. So there's some really good ones, but Mystical is definitely up there with one of the best. Scientist is really good right now, but I digress. So he can bring in mystical keyword characters with the Recruiter. One of the best ones, of course, off the top of my head, is the 15-point Wendigo. I mean, Wendigo obviously is just an amazing figure for 15 points, so that's just one option. And then he also has another trait which is really interesting too, which is just free. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, choose a friendly character with the mystical keyword. This turn, when the chosen character attacks, after resolutions, deal a hit character 1 penetrating damage. And the reason I like that better than just like regular enhancement or just regular free +1 damage is because it's an after resolutions effect. That kind of gives you a neat little way to get through stop clicks. If you have somebody with the mystical keyword, you know, make an attack and hit, then they get that 1 penetrating damage afterwards. So you hit somebody onto their stop click and then do that click of damage through it, and especially penetrating, you know, gets through the toughness or the impervious or whatever they have on their stop click. So I think that's a really cool effect to have. And I mean, 50 points, you know, he can at least carry somebody around with flight and phase teleport. He can prob your rolls. He's pretty hard to hit with a 20 defense from range and his own prob. And the 8 range, 11 attack, energy explosion is pretty decent as well. So, you know, a good 6 clicks of life there, and he does get some enhancement at the late dial, which I think is awesome because then you get the enhancement and the trait that does the additional penetrating damage after resolution. So overall, I do like the Doctor Strange. I wish he kind of had maybe some running shot to start with to give him a little bit more offensive stuff, or maybe like just move the sidestep and the phasing around would be cool too. But overall, I am pretty impressed with this Doctor Strange, and I think he's probably the best recruiter that we have currently. But moving on, next we have another really awesome super rare Crusader, real name Sarah Rogers. I'm not exactly familiar with this character, but I'm guessing it's Steve Rogers' daughter from the future or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know, because she sounds cool. Avengers and X-Men team abilities. 6 range, double target, 125 or 75 points. Has the Asgardian, Avengers, Battle World Other, and X-Men and Soldier keywords. So lots of really, really good keywords there. And Battle World still making a comeback there. Improved targeting ignores characters. That's always useful. Mjolnir and Dad's Shield. Free. Choose one to use until you choose again. Close Combat Expert or Energy Shield Deflection. So that's awesome. Just choose between the hammer or the shield every turn. And then she has a special speed power later on. Speed and power. Sidestep Flurry. That's not bad. And then a special damage power to start with, leadership and empower. So looks like a really solid close combat figure there. For 125 points, she's got 10 clicks of health, 12 movement charge, 12 attack quake, 19 impervious, and 4 damage with the leadership and power special. I probably like the 75 dial a little bit more just because you get pretty much all of that except for, you know, -1 to the attack and defense and -2 to the speed, but that's only -1 to your charge range there, so I do really like the 75 point dial for that. Plus for only 75 points she could actually hit for 5 damage up close with the close combat expert option. So definitely a really cool figure I'm gonna be on the lookout for there for sure. Up next we have number 55, Malekith. He's got the Mystics team ability, 7 range, triple target. Coming in at 100 points, has the Asgardian, Mystical, and Ruler keywords. Starts with Stealth, 11 attack blades, 18 impervious, 3 damage with Exploit weakness. Got a full 9-click dial there of blades and Exploit, which is pretty crazy. Lots of 18s on defense. I mean, just good stats the whole way down is pretty great. But then he has a trait, Incapacitate. When a friendly character uses Incapacitate, after resolutions, gain 1 mission point for each hit character that was given a second action token. So I've already seen a lot of talk about this character, and I think he's pretty great myself. Incapacitate itself isn't the best power anymore, but I mean, there's a lot of great characters now, like Shifting Focus Wonder Woman, with the lasso especially. She can pretty much double token incap your opponent's entire team if played correctly and if you manage to hit your attack. So that right there could score you, you know, I don't know, 5 mission points, 6, 8, 10, depends on how many characters your opponent's playing. And then he himself has triple target incap, so if you play that right and target the right characters, then you're getting 3 mission points every time he incaps something. I think there's some merit to him. I really do. And then there's also the Medusa from the Wonder Woman set that has that special Incapacitate that gives 2 tokens. And she's got triple target as well, so that's an easy 3 mission points there as long as you hit. So I think you could do some fun stuff with him. I think it really comes down to just incapping their team before they can manage to do damage to you. If you can keep them incapped, you can score mission points really crazy fast, and you can probably win like turn 3 with this guy. I think the only thing he really needs is some running shot. If he just had like a special movement power that gave him running shot and stealth instead of just plain stealth, I think he would actually be really, really good. As is, though, I still like him a lot myself. Alright, I thought that was all of them, but they've actually posted a few more dials while I looked through the thread here, so let's jump right into these here. Now next up we have number 33, Black Knight. He's got the Avengers team ability. He's got double target with 0 range, which is cool because you can double target close attack there. 75 points, he's got Avengers, Defenders, Excalibur, Heroes for Hire, Mystical, Scientist, and Warrior keywords, so lots of good keywords there. 10 movement charge, 11 attack, 18 invuln, 3 damage with outwit. Special attack Photon Sword gives him Blades, Claws, Fangs, and when Black Knight uses it after resolutions, give the hit character an action token. So that's pretty great, obviously. Do some big damage with Blades, hopefully, and token them on top of it. Then after he loses invuln, he gets a special defense power for most of his dial there that is Toughness. And free, choose one to use until your next turn, Combat Reflexes or Energy Shield Deflection. So I feel like most of the time you're going to want Combat Reflexes because he's going to be up there fighting people. But, you know, if you find yourself out in the open, energy shield deflection is definitely going to be more useful. So I really like this dial for 75 points. I don't know, he starts with the outwit, mid dial there. He gets some exploit for the blades, then he gets some flurry, close combat expert on the back half. So yeah, I think it's pretty fun dial overall. And then next we have a look at another Chase Rocket Raccoon. He's got the Guardians team ability, 7 range, triple target. He's only 50 points. Has Asgardian, Guardians of the Galaxy, Animal, and Cosmic keywords. He's got Running Shot, 12 attack, 18 super senses, and 3 damage to start with. He has a trait which gives him plasticity, and opposing characters within 4 squares and line of fire consider Rocket adjacent for movement purposes. That's pretty awesome, because I'm pretty sure that would mean they'd have to stop if they're within 4 squares of him. And of course, if they're trying to break away, they have to deal with that plasticity. So that makes him really hard to like run up on and charge on him or something, and really lets him go to town on his range attacks there. So he has a special attack power that gives him energy explosion, and when Rocket Raccoon uses it after resolutions, give each hit character an action token. So triple target energy explosion that also gives action tokens is pretty nuts. You could combo him with the Malekith we just took a look at, and that way you could easily give the first action token to like your opponent's entire team, and then just have somebody come up and use actual incapacitate to get the mission point and give them their second action token. That'd be pretty cool. But otherwise, it's just a great power. And then he has Outwit, and once per turn for all characters with this effect. When Rocket Raccoon uses Outwit after resolutions, deal the targeted character 1 damage if he has 1 or more action tokens. I mean, so Outwit's great, obviously, and the fact that you have the potential to deal them a free damage as well is pretty insane. I think for 50 points, this Rocket Raccoon chase is pretty great, honestly. That plasticity, the 4 square thing where they are adjacent, considered adjacent anyway, energy explosion that gives action tokens, outwit that deals damage, you know, 12 attack is pretty great, only 50 points. That's a pretty amazing Rocket Raccoon right there, and definitely chase-worthy in my opinion. But moving on, we have also Baron Zemo. I really wasn't expecting to see a Baron Zemo in this set, but I'll take it. He's got the Masters of Evil team ability, 6 range, 75 or 35 points. Masters of Evil, Thunderbolts, Ruler, and Soldier keywords. For 75 points, he's got Charge with 11 attack blades, 18 with Mastermind, and 3 damage with a special power. And he's got the Recruiter trait, and this one is for the Masters of Evil keyword. So you can bring in some Masters of Evil there. But then his special damage power gives him leadership and outwit. And honestly, forgetting about the Recruiter trait, I really like him on the 35-point line for the fact that he starts with Stealth and Mastermind to keep him protected. He starts with Telekinesis to, you know, give you some movement options. And he's got Leadership and Outwit. So between Leadership, Outwit, and TK, he's got 3 of the best support powers there is. And with Stealth and Mastermind, he's very well defended for only 35 points. I think he brings a lot to a, you know, Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts kind of team. And the Recruiter trait is just kind of icing on the cake there. Gives you a little something extra to do with him. So yeah, I really like that a lot. I'm gonna have a tough time deciding if I like that Baron Zemo or the one that we got in Captain America and the Avengers better. The super rare one's probably a little better, but this one's cheaper and does some different things, so there's definitely reason to use both of them. But anyway, I really like this Baron Zemo a lot. And then moving on, we have another rare, King Eulek. Comes in at 65 points. He's got Asgardian, Brute, Monster, and Ruler keywords. Charge, 11 attack, 18 impervious, 3 damage with exploit. You know, for 65 points, impervious for 4 clicks and then some toughness for another 3 clicks for a total 7 clicks of life is pretty beefy there. He's got a trait that gives him leadership and mastermind. And when King Eulek uses leadership and succeeds, you can instead generate a rock troll bystander. So, you know, your usual bystander generating effect with the leadership there. Nothing we haven't seen before, but I like his dial. I mean, you know, he's a good close attacker. He's got lots of health for the points, and the traded mastermind also gives him a lot of survivability, especially with the fact that he's making those bystanders. Just keep the bystanders next to him for mastermind fodder, and this dude will be practically impossible to kill. As long as you keep rolling those leadership rolls. Alright, well that does it for this one. That was a lot of dials. Let me know what you guys think of all these in the comments. What do you think of this set so far? We've seen pretty much all the commons, uncommons, and I think most of the rares. I think we're maybe missing 1 or 2 rares. We've seen a good chunk of the super rares. We've seen a couple chases. We do know that one of the chases is going to be Venom. I think it was like Dreamstone Venom or something. We saw in Scott Porter unboxing from Empire. They just previewed the sculpt. It looked pretty awesome. So I don't really know what the chase theme is. I'm guessing, you know, Asgardian empowered other heroes. Like, this seems like some type of Frost Giant powered Rocket Raccoon, or maybe he's like with the casket of the Winters or whatever. I don't know. But then we saw the Human Torch that was in the like Eternal Flame and everything. So pretty cool chases so far. And I do like how there's lots of really great close combat fighters, since this is, you know, a Thor set. We need some good close combat fighters. And some surprising characters I didn't think we would see in this set, so that's a plus. I like surprising characters. But anyway, let me know all your thoughts about that. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. It does help out a lot. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you guys would like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for our Patreon so you can see your name here in the credits. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again so much for watching, you guys, and until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.